The film opens with a haunting scene. A pregnant woman writhes in pain all alone. With no one to help her, she gives birth by herself. As she cradles her newborn and steps outside, we see something chilling. The villagers, upon seeing her, panic and flee into their homes. Doors slam shut. Windows are bolted. It's as if the woman is cursed, untouchable. The scene abruptly cuts to a brutal battlefield. The reason for the war is never revealed, but amidst the chaos, we meet a gravely injured soldier named Mok. His body is riddled with bullets and survival seems impossible. He's rushed to a medical camp with limited resources, where somehow, against all odds, he survives. During his recovery, Mok bonds with other wounded soldiers, and when the war ends they return home together. Mok leads them to his house first, and that's when we learn a surprising truth. Mok is the husband of the woman we saw earlier, Nok. But something is off. As Mok enters his home, he finds the crib empty and Nok nowhere in sight. Confused and concerned, he suddenly feels someone embrace him from behind. He jumps, but it's Nok. She's overjoyed to see him alive. They hold each other tightly in a tender reunion. Nok then brings their son to meet Mok and everything seems peaceful, at least on the surface. However, one of Mok's friends eyes Nok with unsettling intentions. Still, they all accompany Mok to his village. But when they reach the market, something strange happens. Villagers avoid them like the plague. No one will sell them food. People scatter at the sight of Nok. Mok is baffled by this bizarre behavior, until he reaches an elderly shopkeeper. The old woman angrily warns him, "You still don't know? Your wife, she's a ghost. If you don't believe me, look at her from between your legs." Before Mok can respond, the woman's son quickly drags her away embarrassed. Mok's friends laugh it off, thinking the old lady has lost her mind. The next day, while repairing Mok's house, the friends make a disturbing discovery. There's a decaying corpse buried just outside. On its finger is a wedding ring. One of the friends realizes the terrifying truth, but before he can tell anyone, a swarm of bees suddenly attacks him, stinging him so severely that he's left unable to speak. It feels supernatural, almost as if something or someone sent the bees to silence him. Unable to talk, the friend writes down what he saw. Nok is indeed a ghost. He saw her dead body with his own eyes. The others are horrified. Fear grips them. They hastily pack their belongings, ready to run for their lives. But just as they're about to flee, they remember Mok, their dear friend. They can't leave him behind, not with a ghost. So they make a new plan. They'll escape together, quietly in the dead of night, with Mok. That night, Mok's friends quietly approached him again, trying to convince him of the truth. But Mok refused to believe them. Just as they were about to leave without him, a young boy suddenly appeared, tearfully pleading for help. They recognized him. He was the same boy they had seen at the market earlier. "My mother, the one who told you the truth about Nok, she's dead," he cried. "I need help with her funeral." Sobbing, the boy claimed that Nok had killed his mother for exposing her secret. This sent a wave of fear through Mok's friends. If Nok could murder someone for telling the truth, what might she do to them? Still shaken, they helped prepare for the woman's funeral. Once the rituals were done, they rushed back to Mok's house, desperate to take him away before something worse happened. But just as they were about to speak, Nok appeared. She smiled warmly and said, "Dinner is ready." Mok led them to the table and proudly declared, "Look at these dishes, my wife is such a great cook." But what he saw as a delicious meal was, in reality, a horrifying spread of dried leaves, bugs and worms. His friends, terrified of angering Nok, had no choice but to eat the insects. After dinner, they ran off and hid in a room across the street. Mok, puzzled by their behavior, followed and asked, "Why are you acting like this?" Trembling, they finally told him the truth. "Mok, your wife is a ghost. We saw her dead body. She's not human. Please, get out of here before it's too late." Mok, however, dismissed their fears with a bitter laugh. "You fools. There's no ghost. Nok is alive, she's human. When I went off to war, the shopkeeper's son tried to assault her. She escaped and hid him, and to take revenge, he started a rumor that Nok is a ghost." Mok returned home angrily. Strangely, his clothes were covered in soil as though he had fallen. Nok asked about it, but he deflected her question with compliments. His sweet words made her smile again. The next day they all went to a local fair. To avoid being recognized and feared, Nok wore a mask. Mok played a game where he had to knock down cans with a ball to win a toy for their baby. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't win. Then, unseen by the others, Nok used her supernatural powers to knock the cans down, and in that moment it became clear, Nok was a ghost. They continued to enjoy the fair, going on rides together. During one ride, Nock turned emotional and asked Mock, "What will happen if I die?" Mock smiled and said, "You won't die. I'll die before you. You're so beautiful, someone else will be lucky to have you." Back at home, Mock's friends devised a bold plan. They would kidnap Mock to save him from Nock. That night they tried to carry out their plan. But Mock, sensing their intention, confronted them. "Enough of this nonsense," he said. "Nock is not a ghost. I even looked at her from between my legs just like that old lady said. I didn't see anything supernatural." He stormed off, leaving his friends behind. One of the friends suddenly spoke, voicing a chilling thought. "What if we've been wrong this whole time? What if Mock is the real ghost? Think about it, he was shot multiple times. No one survives that." The seed of doubt grew instantly. They began to suspect that Mock might be the one haunting the living. And with that shift, their mission changed. They now had to protect Nock from Mock. One of Mock's friends, who had always harbored lustful intentions toward Nock, was especially excited. If Mock was out of the picture, maybe he could be with her. That night, under the cover of darkness, they went to Nock and told her everything. Gently they urged her to escape. She didn't resist. Silently, as if she too believed Mock was the ghost, she took her child and followed them. They took a boat, hoping to carry Nock and her son to safety in another city. But as they boarded, they realized the boat couldn't move, it was too heavy. Nock's presence was weighing it down. In desperation, they began tossing their luggage into the river to lighten the load. But still, the boat wouldn't budge. Finally, one of them turned to Nock and said something unthinkable. "Throw the child overboard." Nock froze, clutching her son. Her eyes filled with tears. She couldn't do it. The boat still refused to move. From a distance, Mock saw everything, his wife, his friends, his child, trying to leave him. Without hesitation, he ran into the river and swam after them, shouting desperately, "I'm not a ghost. Who told you that I'm a ghost?" His voice cracked with emotion, but his friends didn't listen. Panic took over. They tried pushing the boat forward with their hands, but no matter how hard they tried, it didn't budge. One of Mock's friends suddenly recalled the villager's words. "If you want to see who the ghost is, look under your legs." Trembling, he looked down. And that's when the truth hit him like a storm. Nock was the ghost. The very woman they were trying to rescue was not among the living. Just then, Nock revealed her ghostly powers. Her eyes turned dark, her hand stretched unnaturally across the boat, gripping the friend's shoulder. Fear erupted. They leapt from the boat and rushed to the nearest temple, dragging Mock with them. There, they met a wise monk and poured out the entire story, how they had unknowingly lived with a ghost, how she was still after them. The monk listened and immediately began performing a protective ritual. He drew a glowing circle of light and tied sacred threads around the group, shielding them from evil forces. But before the ritual could be completed, Nock arrived, this time in her true, terrifying ghostly form. Her face pale, eyes hollow, hair floating in the air. Mock saw her and was overwhelmed with emotion. He tried to run to her, but his friends held him back, pleading with him not to fall into her trap. Seeing them restrain Mock, Nock's rage ignited. She floated upside down, let out a chilling scream and thundered, "Why won't you let my Mock come to me? What is your problem?" One of the friends shouted, "We know you'll kill him, just like you killed the shopkeeper." Nock turned to them, hurt and furious. "I didn't kill him. He slipped into the water and drowned on his own. I never meant to harm anyone." Another friend stepped forward, his voice cold, "You're a ghost. You don't belong in the world of the living. Go back to where you came from." That broke Nock. Tears welled up in her eyes. Her voice cracked as she sobbed, "I didn't come back for you. I only came back for Mock. I just wanted a few more moments, a little more time with the one I love. But you never let me have that." Mock, overwhelmed, broke down in tears. Nock floated close and gently reached out to wipe his tears. Her own tears fell with his, and the moment became deeply emotional. Finally, Nock confessed the full truth. "I died the day I gave birth to our son," she said softly. "But I couldn't bear to leave you, so I stayed. I hid my true form to be with you, not to harm anyone." Then she added, "Now that you know everything, I will go. But promise me, after I leave you won't follow me. You'll live your life, find happiness again and love someone else." Mock looked at her with tears in his eyes and said, "Do you think I didn't know? I've known from the beginning." He explained that the day his friends told him about her body, he had gone to her grave, held her remains and wept. That's why his clothes were covered in mud, the same mud Nock had brushed off him when he returned. "I chose to stay with you," he said, "dead or alive. I'm ready to love you like this, forever." With that, he walked toward her and embraced her. Tears flowed all around. Even his friends, once terrified, were now moved. They saw the love that defied life and death. From that moment, they made peace with Nock. She would stay with Mok. In the post-credits scene, we see the group transform their haunted house into a ghost experience attraction for the village. With a real ghost as part of their crew, their haunted show becomes legendary. The final shot shows Nock, Mok, their child, and their friends laughing together in a monster-themed house full of spooky fun. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more amazing movie recaps.